Today I'm going to show you some of the best archer gear for each stage of the game, but make sure you hit subscribe and let's get straight into the video. Alright, so for early game, in terms of archer gear, I think the best stuff is definitely Skeleton Master. This is good because it has a good amount of crit damage, and also the full set bonus gives you 25% extra arrow damage, and each piece gives you 5%, so that's 20% plus the 25%, which is 45% extra damage with arrows, which is really good, and you get a good amount of crit damage. If you put it all on Fierce, that'll get you a lot of crit damage on that, because it's epic. The reforges are quite good, and you also get some strength there as well. But yeah, that's a really decent set, and you only need quite a low catacombs level. I think it's like 6 or 9 or something to use this, so it's not too hard to unlock, but you will have to have done some catacombs to actually get this thing. In terms of a bow, I've gone with a hurricane bow or a magma bow. Now these ones, they are pretty decent. They're not really dungeons bows, but this one is good because it shoots a lot of arrows. It's good for good dragons. I think it used to be, at least I don't know if it is anymore. And you can get some good enchants on it, and infinite quiver is very useful. Definitely have that. Yeah, and you get it more powerful the more kills you get, so that can be very useful. Yeah, it's decent bow to start off with. It only costs 72,000 to buy, or 45 on bid, which is pretty decent. But the magma bow is quite good because the stats don't look amazing straight up, but the magma cream, if you have magma cream in your quiver, like so, you do double damage. It will use magma cream as well as arrows, and it'll double your damage, which is pretty sick. So you have 216 damage, 230 strength, or no, it will just double the final damage number, which is pretty good. Then we move on to mid game, where I've got Shadow Assassin. Now there's a few things you can do to improve this setup to get more crit damage. Mainly is put it on Ancient with the precursor gear, and then also add Livid Fragments, so this thing gets upgraded to, I think it gets upgraded to Legendary, or it just gets a little bonus on the side. But yeah, that's a pretty decent set for some archer damage. This is a very good mid-game set. You get a few perks and stuff that aren't that useful, but yeah, it's good stats and good crit damage mainly. Then for a bow, you want to go for a juju shortbow. I haven't got mine fully maxed. You probably want some enchants like Soul Eater and maybe Overload if you have that. But these are quite difficult to unlock with the enchanting levels. So to start off with, you just go for a juju shortbow. You might want to recom it as well, which would help. I've got it hot potato booked and with all the enchants, the basic enchants, and I got it on rapid. I'm not sure if that's the best reforge. I think you want maybe something like precise, or I can't remember what the reforge is, but yeah, this is a pretty decent setup. There's 175 crit damage, 230 damage, and also when you shoot it, it's a short bow, so it fires like this rather than actually charging it back. It's quite quick, and it will hit multiple enemies if you hit one, so it can hit up to 3 enemies if they're close together. So it's decent for clearing rooms. Yeah, it hits 3 mobs on impact, and it can damage Enderman, which is nice. Yeah, for end game, this one is quite difficult to do, but what you want to do is get yourself a full. I've got full necron here, all on Ancient, so that gives 1 crit damage per catacombs level, and my catacombs level is over at 28. So yeah, if I would get 28 extra crit damage plus the already, I don't know if that's already counted in. So the 28, 3 lots of 28 or 4 lots of 28 crit damage is a lot added on thanks to Ancient. And then what you want to do is replace this helmet. If you're doing lots of one floor particularly, you want to change the helmet for the golden head of whatever floor you're doing. So if that's floor 7, then you would do the necron head, or floor 6, that's the Satan head. So that'll help you. That'll double your stats overall. And this set is great because it reduces the damage you take by 10%. The Witherborn isn't that useful actually. Sometimes it hinders you. For example, in the Satan boss fight, you can trigger the golems with your Witherborn, which can be quite annoying. So I'd suggest 3/4 necron and then one of the golden heads on the top. I've got this all hot potato booked, and I think 5-starred, maybe not quite 5-starred, but yeah, 5-starring is very important. As with the Shadow Assassin, you do want to 5-star that as well. And in terms of the bow, we're going to be looking at the Terminator bow. Now this thing is ridiculously OP. But it costs a lot of money, and it also requires Enderman Slayer 7, which is absolutely insane. So this thing is basically just a juju shortbow on steroids. It's like 250% crit damage base without any reforges, 40% extra attack speed, 310 damage, 50 strength, But it does divide your crit chance by 4. So I guess you like barely ever crit on this thing. And it also has an ability, after landing 3 hits you shoot a beam that goes, it seems like it can go through mobs, and it does double the damage, so that's pretty good. Oh, the beam always crits, which is nice. But yeah, it looks like you're going to need some more crit chance with this thing. Yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah, I guess you just don't crit and you just do a lot of damage anyway. But yeah, that's pretty sick. Yeah. But then in terms of pets for all of these, I think the best, you want to start off with a Wither Skeleton pet, a legendary one of those, because that's very good for like floor 7. And where's Wither Skeleton pet here? This one. So you want to start off with this for mid game. It's not too expensive, like 4 mil. And you take less damage from skeletons and deal more damage to wither mobs, so that's great for floor 7. And you also get some good base crit damage and crit chance, which is nice, and strength, defense, whatever. It's all pretty good, and you can do a wither effect on enemies, which is nice. So yeah, that's good for mid game. And then in terms of end game one, this is really expensive, but you can go for an Ender Dragon pet. This thing is 500 mil, so it will cost you like 1 billion coins to get the end game set up. But yeah, that's a pretty good thing there. I'd suggest what you actually do, because it's really difficult to afford the Terminator and the E-Dragon pet, so I'd basically just change out the armor to Necron with the Juju, and that's a pretty good setup there. And you just go and max out. You can even recom your, I'm probably gonna recom my Necron soon, because this is nice. Yeah, I would like to do that. So yeah, that's gonna do it today. So I hope you did enjoy it. I will do more of these on the different classes, but make sure you check out all the links in the description to my gaming setup and hit subscribe. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.